I bring my phone out here to prepare, I am not imagining it, and I fell over the fray even stepped onto the dock. The screen is already recording when I lift it toward the lake. My thumb is a white crescent against the glass. The red dot is solid. The timestamp is correct. I whisper my name, the date, the reason I am here. I say, clearly, that I am here because the water has been showing faces under the moonlight for a split second, like a blink I cannot catch twice. When I play it back, my voice is there, but the reason is missing. The sentence is cut clean. I hear myself say, I am here because the, and then there is a soft click like the microphone loses contact, and then I'm saying my name again. I stand on the gravel at the edge of the public access, staring at my own mouth moving on the screen, feeling my stomach tighten as if the cold is inside me. I stop the playback and look at the lake. The moon sits low, smeared by thin cloud. The water is dark, a flat sheet with small movements at the shore. I tell myself it is a file error, a corrupt clip. I start another recording and speak slower. I am here because the water shows faces for a split second under the moonlight. I enunciate faces like it matters. When I play it back, the words faces and moonlight are gone. The sentence is still mine, still my voice, still the same cadence, but it becomes nonsense. I am here because the water shows for a split second under the. It ends there, like an unfinished thought. I put the phone in my pocket and taste metal, as if I have bitten my tongue. The dock begins a few steps ahead, boards pale in the moon, damp enough to shine. It is the kind of dock meant for small boats and fishermen, with a narrow walkway and a little shelter at the end. People call it the boathouse even though it is just a shed with a roof and a door. The town keeps it locked when the season ends, but the lock is never what catches my attention. The door has a chain on the inside. I know because the first time I came here, weeks ago, I pulled on the handle and heard the chain draw tight. The sound was unmistakable, that short rattle and a final hard stop. A chain latch, already set, inside a door that is supposed to be secured from the outside. That night I told myself someone had been inside and latched it, and I laughed. I am not reckless. I do not pry at doors in the dark. I went home and tried to laugh at my own nerves. The next day I came back in daylight, and the door opened easily. There was no chain sound, no resistance. Inside, it smelled like wet rope and old wood. There was nothing strange. Then, that night, the chain was there again. Now I am here again, and I am not supposed to be. I keep telling myself this is for closure, for proof, for the satisfaction of catching the faces on camera and showing someone so I can stop feeling like my brain is dissolving. I step onto the dock. The boards give a small complaint under my shoes. The lake makes soft sounds against the posts. My breath is visible. Halfway down, I stop and turn my head to the water. Moonlight skates across the surface in a bright strip that breaks and reforms with each ripple. In that strip, something pale rises. Not physically, but in the way an image forms in your mind when you stare at a pattern too long. Eyes. It is there for less than a second. A human face too clear to be phone, too symmetrical to be chance. Eyes open, looking up through the water as if the lake is a pane of dark glass. The mouth is slightly parted. There is no expression I can name, only an intense, flat attention. I blink and it is gone. The water is just water. I pull my phone out so fast it nearly slips from my fingers. I aim it at the spot, heart punching my ribs. I hit record. Now there. Ripples. Moonlight. Normal. I lower the phone, and a second later another face flashes into existence in the bright strip, closer to the dock, as if it has moved without disturbing the surface. This one is not the same. Older. The cheeks are hollow. The eyes are wide and reflective like a deer caught in headlights. It is there and then it is not. I raise the phone again, too late, and I feel a surge of anger at myself that is almost relief. I am missing it because I am jumpy. It is not supernatural. It is a trick of light and my own expectation. Then I realize my anger is not mine. It arrives with a sudden certainty, like a thought that has been waiting behind my eyes. It is covered by the things that I have done or have stuff that I'm hitting again and again. Each time I'm ready. I walk to the end where the shed sits. The little structure is weathered, its boards darkened by years of late air. The door is painted a dull municipal green, a metal handle, a lock cast, and a padlock that hangs open, as if someone has unlocked it and left it there. The open padlock is wrong. I know it is wrong. I touch it. It is cold and damp. The shackle moves freely. I should leave right now. I should walk back, drive home, and never come again. Instead, I wrap my fingers around the handle and pull. The door opens an inch and stops. The chain catches with a sharp clank, exactly like I remember. The resistance is firm. Someone has latched it from inside. I lean closer and peer through the gap. Darkness. The smell of wet wood intensifies. I cannot see the chain itself, only its shadowed line. I say quietly, hello. No answer. I should be terrified, and I am, but there is something else threading through the fear. A sense of duty. A sense that if I do not open this door, something will keep happening without my consent. I take out my phone again and switch on the flashlight. The beam slices into the gap and catches the chain at an angle. It is thick, galvanized, looped through a simple slide latch. It is already in place, snug as if it has been carefully set. I film it. I narrate what I see. I say, the chain is latched from inside. The padlock outside is open. When I stop recording and immediately play it back, the video shows the door gap, the beam of light, the inside darkness, but the chain is not there. The door on the screen opens wider than it does in my hand, as if there is no resistance. My own fingers pull it easily. The audio has my voice saying, the door is open. I stare at the phone and then at the real door that is still caught on the chain, still held at an inch. My throat tightens until swallowing hurts. I record again, this time holding the phone so the chain is clearly in frame and the door cannot move. I shake the door gently so the chain makes sound. The chain rattles. The sound is real. On playback, the sound is gone. The video shows a steady door, no movement, no chain, only a black gap. The lake behind me makes a louder slap against the dock, like a hand against wood. I turn and look out over the water. The moonlight strip has widened as the clouds shift. Faces appear and vanish within it like reflections in a shop window as you pass. One after another, different ages, different features, all staring up. Then one of them is mine. It is unmistakable. My own face, pale and distorted by the water, eyes open, mouth slightly parted. It is there for a fraction of a second, and in that fraction I feel a jolt of recognition that is not visual but internal, like seeing my own handwriting after years. I stumble back from the edge of the dock. My heel catches a raised board and I nearly go down. The phone slips and I grab it with both hands. My reflection in the water is not there, only the faces. I swing the flashlight beam across the surface. The light scatters, makes the faces vanish. When I turn it off, they return in the moon strip, patient, waiting for the exact angle. I put the phone away. Proof is not working. The lake is doing something to the recordings, or to me, or to both. I face the door again. The chain is still latched. The padlock is still open. I press my forehead against the cold painted wood and close my eyes. I try to remember the first time I saw the faces. It should be simple. It should be a clear memory, because it frightened me. Fear burns events into the mind. But when I reach for it, my thoughts slide off something smooth. There is a blankness. Not a normal forgetting, but the sensation of encountering a wall where there should be a hallway. I pull back, breathing hard. I can remember driving here tonight. I can remember locking my front door. I can remember the taste of the coffee I drank after dinner. I can remember the route, the turns. But the origin of this obsession is missing. The beginning is gone. And now, standing on this dock, I feel the dock itself pressing on my thoughts, nudging them, rearranging them like a hand smoothing wrinkles from fabric. A memory rises, uninvited. I am inside the shed. The memory is vivid. I smell the wet rope. I see the stacked life vests. I see a small window with condensation. I hear the lake against the boards. In the memory, the door is closed and the chain is latched. I am alone. I am speaking to someone, but no one answers. Then the memory breaks apart like paper soaked in water. The details dissolve, and all that remains is the sensation of being watched from above, from below, from within. I open my eyes and realize I am trembling. I have not been inside the shed tonight. The chain prevents it. So why do I remember being inside it? I test the door again, as if maybe the chain has loosened. It has not. The latch holds. I step back and shine the flashlight along the edge of the door frame, looking for a gap. A way to see more. The beam catches stretches on the wood near the latch, small parallel lines like fingernails. My fingernails. The thought is immediate and absurd. I look at my hands. My nails are short. There is no dirt under them. I force myself to think rationally. Someone could have been trapped. Someone could have latched the chain and then left through another way, or latched it as a prank. There is no other way out. It is a shed on a dock. I press my ear to the gap and listen. At first I hear nothing but my own pulse in the lake. Then, faintly, I hear breathing. Not my breathing. It is slower, deeper, with a slight wet catch on the inhale. It comes from inside the shed. I freeze, every muscle tightening. My skin prickles. I do not move my head because I am afraid the sound will vanish and I will convince myself it was the lake. The breathing continues. I whisper, who is in there? The breathing stops. In the sudden silence, my ears ring. The dock feels longer, the air heavier. Then something shifts inside, a small scrape, like a shoe on wood. I jerk back from the door. The chain rattles softly as if touched from the other side. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A notification. The sound makes me flinch. I pull it out. The screen lights my hands. The notification is from my own notes app. A new note has been created. I did not create it. The title is simply, do not trust what you remember. The body of the note contains one sentence. The chain is for you. My mouth goes dry. I scroll, expecting more, expecting some explanation, some sign of hacking, some weird sync glitch. There is nothing else. I look at the timestamp. It is from 1 minute ago. I was holding the door. My hands were visible. I did not type. The dock creaks behind me, a slow pressure sound like someone stepping carefully. I whip around, flashlight up. No one is there. Only the empty board stretching back to shore. The water moves. The faces are gone now, as if they have all turned away at once. The moonlight strip is still there, bright and empty. I turn back to the shed and the gap in the door seems wider than before. I know it is not. The chain should limit it, but the opening is now the width of my fingers, then my hand. I did not pull. The wood has shifted as if the chain has lengthened. I lean in and shine the light. Inside, the beam catches a wall of darkness and then, for a moment, something reflective. An eye, not an animal eye. Too still, too human. The eye does not blink. It looks at the flashlight without flinching, as if light does not hurt it. My legs want to run. My mind wants to explain. It is a person. Someone hiding. Someone trapped. But the place is doing something to my mind, and I can feel it working the moment I consider opening the door. A thought slides into my head as smoothly as if I have always believed it. You already opened it before. You already went in. You already forgot. I back away until my calves hit the low bench beside the shed. I sit without meaning to. The wood is wet and cold through my jeans. I stare at the door, at the gap, at the chain I cannot see but know is there. My phone is still in my hand. The screen is dimming. I force it awake and open my photo gallery. There are pictures I do not remember taking. The first is a close-up of the chain latch from inside the shed, as if I am standing in there looking out. The second is the dock boards from a low angle, as if the phone phone is on the floor. The third is a blurry shot of the lake at night, faces in the moonlight strip, dozens of them. The fourth is the shed interior again, and in it, there is a handwritten message on the wall in marker. The writing is mine. I recognize the loops, the way I cross my T. It says, if you read this, you are already forgetting. Do not unlatch it. My vision tunnels. I grip the phone so hard my knuckles ache. I look up at the real shed door. The gap is wider now, wide enough for an arm. The chain, somehow, still holds because I hear its faint tension hum like metal understrain. From inside, the breathing resumes, slow and patient. Then a voice, very quiet, comes through the gap. It is my voice. It says, let me out. My stomach drops as if the dock tilts. I stand, stumbling, and press my back to the outer wall of the shed, trying to get distance while still facing the door. My mind scrambles for a timeline. If that is my voice inside, then where am I now? If I have been inside before, then what did I do to myself? The place edits memory while you are inside it. I understand that now with a clarity that feels like panic. It does not just make you forget afterward. It changes what you think happened while it is happening, erasing cause and replacing it with calm. The voice speaks again, still mine, still soft. It says, you came back. The chain is stuck. I cannot reach it. My hands shake so badly, I can barely hold the phone. I aim the flashlight at the gap. The eye is closer now. I see the skin around it, pale, damp, wrinkled as if soaked. I see a strand of hair stuck to it. I want to scream, but if I scream, I will wake the entire lakeside and still no one will come fast enough. The voice inside says, listen, do not look at the water. Do not let it show you. I glance, reflexively, toward the lake. The moonlight strip is empty, and then a face blooms into it. Not mine this time. It is someone I know. I cannot place the name at first, and that frightens me more than the face itself. The features are familiar, intimate, tied to a life I have touched. A teacher, a neighbor, a friend. The face looks up, and its mouth moves under the water as if speaking. I cannot hear it. I only see the word shape. Come in. My head swims. The dock boards seem to pulse. The shed door seems to breathe. The voice inside the shed says it is trying to trade. My fingers find the padlock outside, the one hanging open. I stare at it, suddenly certain that it should be closed. That closing it is the only way to make the chain matter. But the padlock is outside. The chain is inside. The voice inside says, you brought it here. I whisper, what? The voice says, you did. You walked in and you looked at the water and you let it right over you. Then you latched the chain so it could not finish. I press my palm to my forehead. The skin is cold with sweat. I try to remember walking in. I try to remember latching the chain. The memory comes as a sensation of relief, of doing something decisive, of protecting myself from myself. Then it blurs, and in the blur I see my own hands from inside, pulling the chain into place, and I hear myself whisper, hold. I look at the gap again. The eye withdraws. Something else slides into view. Hand. My hand, I think at first, because the shape is similar, but the skin is wrong. It is pale and swollen, pruned like it has been in water too long. The fingernails are ragged. The hand reaches through the gap as far as it can, straining. The chain rattles, metal protesting. The voice inside says, please. My phone buzzes again. Another note. I look down without wanting to. The screen displays the new line beneath the old. You are standing in the wrong place. As I read it, the dock creaks behind me again, closer, and the lake makes the hand slap sound against the posts. I lift my head slowly. In the moonlight strip on the water, my face appears again, but this time it is not looking up. It is looking straight at me, as if the water is no longer below, as if it is in front of my eyes like a mirror, and behind my reflection, inside the dark of the shed, something moves toward the gap, something that does not fit the shape of a person, and my own voice whispers from both sides at once, unlatch it. I step back, and my heel finds nothing but air at the edge of the dock.